This week we've got tropical beaches, beautiful blue sea and stunning blue skies, which means we can only be in one place, the Outer Hebrides of Scotland, where it always looks like this. Well, mostly. But even on the odd occasion when it might be raining, there's still lots to see and lots to do, so come with us as we go for a wee explore. Today we are at the very southern tip of the sort of middle bit of the Western Isles. If that makes no sense, here it is on a map. It's in 3 lumps that you can drive, and we're as far south as we can drive on the sort of North Uist, South Uist, Eriskay bit. So yeah, that's where we are. As you can see, we are in a wonderful wee car park, which is doesn't look very exciting. But most importantly, it's got that. Now that is the ferry waiting room. But in the ferry waiting room there are showers. We've been in the van now for 2 or 3 days. We really needed a shower. So there are hot showers in there, there are toilets, and it's all good. It's £1 for a shower, and it is £1 very, very well spent. Let's now a wee view of a really nice wee place. This is the island of Eriskay, and over there is an amazing beach which would be great for zoomies, but himself injured himself yesterday doing this. Yeah, so no zoomies today, unfortunately. No getting off the lead because he's done something to his leg muscle, so we'll have to keep an eye on that, obviously. How's that up there for a house with a view? This place is amazing, with water that looks virtually tropical. This, yeah, nice, liking it quite a lot. When you stand down here, you get an idea how much work went into building this harbour, because if you see all those lines on those rocks up there, that's where they were drilled to be sort of blasted out, so they could clear this whole bit. So this used to be a big hill, and now it's a nice wee car park. That looks like quite a hard way to make a living, but I bet it's brilliant. Guy out there in his wee boat, maybe out lobster potting or going to do some fishing or something. It's such a cool way of life up here. I do quite like it. I think one day we'll be leaving the hustle and bustle of metropolitan method behind and moving somewhere a wee bit more like this. I was up the top of the hill trying to figure out what this thing meant. I couldn't see it from that far away. It's no snorkeling, diving or swimming, as you can see there. I mean, who'd want to go swimming in that anyway? It just looks a bit, yeah, me. I want to go swimming in that. I think out of all the warning signs that you get on British roads, that is one of the most expressive. You know exactly what is happening there. The ferry port on Eriskay is your departure point if you want to head to the southernmost of the Outer Hebrides. It sails down to the island of Barra, which is very pretty, but we don't have time to visit on this trip. But don't worry, we will definitely be coming back. One of our favourite things to visit on these wee islands is always the community shop. This is always so well stocked. If you can't get it here, you almost definitely don't need it. As well as every imaginable essential for island life, this wee shop also had a really nice bit through the back, a little nook that was full of local arts and crafts that we did spend quite a lot of time looking through. And because it was Bexy's birthday coming up, I wanted to buy her some soap, so we had to do a stealth sort of trying to buy it without her noticing. Fortunately, with the help of a shop assistant who interpreted my hand signals correctly, we managed, and Bex was none the wiser that I'd bought her a wee bar of Outer Hebrides soap, which was covered in Outer Hebrides wool and looked like a wee sheep. I don't know if you'll ever actually use it to wash, it just looks really cute. But as it was Bexy's birthday, we weren't hanging about on Eriskay, we were heading up to North Uist, where we have a little tradition. What we do every birthday is we try and find a gin tour, and on North Uist there is, yeah, you guessed it, a famous wee distillery where they make downpour gin. But on the way we did stop beside one of the causeways that links all these islands together to see if we could see any sign of another famous resident of the local area, but unfortunately we didn't see any otters. But stay tuned, because we might before the day is out. We have come to a distillery for a gin tour. We do a gin tour for birthdays. It's Bexy's birthday tomorrow, so we are here if we can find the way in. There it is, over there. The gin tour turned out to be in this really cool sort of boutique-y wee place, this horseshoe of old agricultural buildings that are quite impressive. Clearly they're all getting renovated. Somebody is spending a bit of money on building a wee business out here in the Outer Hebrides. And although it's North Uist Distillery, we're actually on Benbecula, so when I said North Uist earlier, I lied. As with most of these distilleries, there's a really nice wee gift shop where you can peruse all the local wares before you actually go in and sample the different drinks.
They're such nicely designed little bottles, aren't they?
How did you taste them all?
The distillery have only recently taken over this building, and as part of this tour you do get a wee look behind the scenes. Now this wing has not been renovated or developed yet, so what you're looking at here is what people would have looked at 100 years ago. The animal stalls and the horse accommodation and stuff. It was such a cool thing to see, and to actually walk where these people used to walk.
Do you want to know something cool? Well, in that distillery you can take in the botanicals that they need for their gin, you can take in like the local grain or the local flowers that you need for the gin. In return they'll give you a bottle of gin, which I think is a great system. Bex decided she's going to move here and become a full-time forager and just live on gin. Turns out the reason for all the construction works is they're about to become a whisky distillery as well. So all the whisky distilling gubbins is going in these buildings. It'll be quite impressive when it's finished. That was a really good wee gin tasting. Unfortunately, I'm driving, so the tasting of the gin was severely limited. Thankfully, Bex took up the slack and stepped up and drank my gin for me. So Bex is now asleep in the back of the van. And how am I going to fill the next hour or so? Oh, go on, guess. That little memorial over there is to the Nunton Farm land raid in 1923. Basically for the First World War, men were told if they signed up when they came back they'd be given a bit of land so they'd have a livelihood after the end of the war. So the men went off and did their bit and came back, and they were conned. They weren't given a bit of land, they were given nothing. So some men took the law into their own hands and came and pinched the land. It was they were entitled to it, they'd been told you could have it, and then it didn't happen. I suppose it was an offer that was made because of the fatalities in the First World War. They weren't really expected to ever come back and claim their prize. And after the land raids, the men were actually given some land. People thought, this isn't fair, they actually deserve it. They fought for it. And to this day, that house there is one croft, and they had that wing of what is now going to be the distillery, and that wing over there of what is now the distillery was actually crofted by the people living in that house, or the parents of the people living in that house. So it's still a very, very strong family connection to this wonderful old building. I'm not even going to try and pronounce this. This is the medieval graveyard and chapel of Bailey Nan, that one, Gaeliach. I'm guessing that's probably not right. And this is a very, very old Catholic Christian site, which was then during the Reformation was abandoned because the Catholics were kicked out and the Protestants took over. But this place has stayed in use as the main graveyard for the island of Benbecula. So there's this bit here which is sort of quite old. Down there it's a bit more modern, and over there it looks like the bit that is sort of brand new. But the sign on the gate said, here there are Commonwealth war graves. So let's go for a wee quick look for the war graves. So that is the ruins of the old chapel, which I think they said dates back to the 14th century. So it's quite an old building. It's also in quite good condition actually. Anything inside that's interesting? No. But if you look at some of the stones here, they're from like the 1930s, 1950s, etc. So you wouldn't think that was very old. And then you turn round and there's things like that are, well, I'm not an expert and you can't tell from them because there's nothing on them, but they look to be extremely old. And down here, with its back to us facing the wall, I think that is the war grave. Let's have a wee look. Oh yes. 2 sailors of the Great War Royal Navy, so they are known unto God. The names are not recorded, but they are buried here. Quite a nice place, but for July in Scotland, not awfully warm and a wee bit windy. Hopefully the little fluffy microphone is doing its job. If you'd like to support our channel and my inane ramblings, we do have a Patreon page, and I'll put a link up at the bottom of the screen here. You can go across there, and for £3 a month you can support us and get access to all sorts of extra bits and pieces, which are mostly me getting things wrong, occasionally falling over, and the odd full-length episode that doesn't really fit with the main channel, but we still think is quite interesting. And if you don't believe me how amazing it is, you can go over and have a free trial, so you can sign up and see all the stuff that's gone on so far and see what you think. Now here's something that I thought might have been the case. I wasn't sure till I read this big sign at the gate that tells you that, yeah, that is the original door to the building. So in the late Middle Ages, this was a church, and that was a full-size door. But since then, the church has obviously fallen into disrepair, but the graveyard is still in use, and the ground level has been built up. So the door is now mostly underground. Right, I know, that's enough graveyards. Let's go and look at some chickens. Have you just checked that bit again and said, did he just say chickens? If you go down to this corner of the field that's quite sheltered, you're probably going to see lots of chickens. Hi gang! They're all looking at me going, excuse me, who are you talking to, you lunatic? This is something about these islands that I love. I love these little honesty boxes. You can buy some fresh eggs. Have got any fresh eggs? Oh no, denied. I was going to make an omelette from those chickens. Not from the chickens, but from the chicken's egg. You knew what I meant, I'm gibbering. Interesting fact, that bell up there was used to call people to work when this was a working farm. So they rang the bell so people knew it was time to get to their work. We'll have to come back when they actually start making the whiskey. Not that we like whiskey, we just like looking around old buildings. Told you, I've been out doing all that research for you people, and she's lying there reading her book, or reading their phone. But either way, I've been doing all the flipping work.
After our visit to the distillery, we headed down a little bit to this cracking beach where we thought we would park for the night, because you could park here on the dunes. It was such a pretty place, the sun was shining, the sky was still blue, the sea was still blue. This was going to be perfect. Unfortunately, the weather gods that night had another idea.
Well, that was an interesting night if you like sleeping inside a washing machine. It's now a few hours later and the rain has for now stopped. It's been starting and stopping and starting and stopping all night, I think. So we and De Niro, down there, are going down to the beach, but no zoomies because he's still got a bit of a gammy leg. And we owe De Niro an apology because all night last night we also thought that dog has got something up with his stomach. He's very smelly. We got outside and it's not actually him, it's actually all this seaweed. There's a place on Benbecula that they call Stinky Bay. I think this might be it. It's a bit whiffy. Well, the good news is that his leg or his hip or wherever he hurt does seem to be a bit better today. He's not limping as much. Still not doing any zoomies, but certainly on the road to recovery. I'm not quite sure how I can describe the smell apart from... Bex has taken De Niro for a walk out on the beach in the drizzly mist. It's not the finest day here on Benbecula, but still, we are going to have fun. It's Bex's birthday and we're going off for a seafood breakfast. Yay! That is if I can get out of this parking place that we found last night, because it has been raining all night and we are parked on like wet grass, so hopefully we're not going to get stuck in the sand.
Fortunately, because Daisy was parked facing downhill, we'd managed to get out of our parking space okay, because if I'd parked her the other way around, we would have been well and truly stuck. But anyway, that was our park for night done, our night in the washing machine done. It was time to go now and hit the tourist trail.
And because it's Bex's birthday, we get to go to the shops that she wants to go to. And this is the Hebrides Smokehouse, which does smoked fish, but also lots of crafts and stuff. So we're going for a wee look. Found any treasure? Hiya.
Hi there.
Oh, that's cool. Oh. Never seen a gingerbread cow. They say that's the best gift shop on the island. Yeah. Do you fancy a gingerbread cow or a puffin picture or, yeah.
Nice.
We didn't buy anything, we're going to go and find somewhere else. Bex's next stop on our wee birthday itinerary is this, which was miles from anywhere. It's the wee cottage kitchen. It's got to be the scallops and black pudding, I think. And you'll be getting fed up of nice views of beaches. Not for nothing do they say that the Outer Hebrides have some of the best beaches in the world, and there's another one.
Hi there.
Hiya, can I get 2 scallop and black pudding rolls and 2 Americanos with milk, please?
Yep.
So you think you're out in the wilds of nowhere and they give you one of these wee buzzers so you know when your dinner's ready. I'm looking forward to this. I do like scallops and Stornoway black pudding. Never had them in the same roll before, but hey ho. And for all you guys that love wildlife, I'm going to tell you something that we didn't manage to capture on camera. We're driving along the road there and there was an owl sitting on a fence post. It was just sitting there looking at us. At the time I stopped and got the window down, it said, nah, bored now, and flew off. Little flappy thing. We arrived and there was nobody here, and now there's lots and lots of camper vans. It is a very, very popular little spot. Can't think why, apart from the seafood and the nature and the beach, and yeah, can't really think why you'd like to come here though. I'm not going to film too much of these because judging by the wheelie bin, they are people's houses still, and that is 2 little old authentic black houses. Very, very thick stone walls, tiny little windows and a thatched roof. There was a time all these islands would have been covered in those. Now there's only a few dotted about, mostly for the tourists. Well, the tourists and of course the sheep. I'm guessing that's probably the old schoolhouse, or maybe still the schoolhouse. It's just such a nice wee place. We didn't expect this. Bex just said, I'd like to go there, it looks really nice. And we came along for the seafood and stayed for the sea nerry. Seafood and sea nerry. That was almost clever. Oh guys, you're not staying about to get your photos taken. I can make you all famous. Won't be on YouTube though, because I've done that joke before and I can't think of a sheepy equivalent. I'm sorry, but just look at it. It's just one of the most perfect places in the whole world. It's like, I am, even by my standards, at a loss for words. This is just gorgeous. I thought that was Bex sitting with somebody else's dog on her knee. Wouldn't be the first time. Next up, we've come to the very top of North Uist. We are on the island of Berneray, which is where our ferry will ultimately leave for Harris, but not for another 24 hours or so. It's a very, very pretty place. This is just a big green meadow, but guess what's over the other side of that hill behind me? Go on, guess, guess, guess. You'll never guess. Might even be another beach. De Niro is still shaping up well with his gammy leg, but he's much better than he was yesterday. I think he will be quite giddy when he gets to the top of this hill. if he ever stops peeing for long enough to get to the top of this hill. This is either a site of special scientific interest or a massive golf course, because there's a huge bunker. Just had a stroke of luck in the Berneray Bistro. I had booked a restaurant on the other side of the island for Bexy's birthday dinner, and we drove past it and looked at it and thought, nah. So we went to Berneray because on Google it said it was a really, really nice wee restaurant. And we got in and the lady said, I'm sorry, we're fully booked. So we're like, oh, we'll go and buy some sausages and we'll cook sausages in the van for your birthday tea. And we were just going to check out and the phone rang. And then we heard the lady say, all right, thanks for letting us know. It's like, somebody's cancelled. And they had. So we've got a table tonight in the Berneray Bistro, but we're not taking you guys with us because it's her birthday tea. And if I film it all, I'll get glowered at.
I think round this corner it's going to be really horrible.
I think it is.
I've got a feeling.
Yeah, it just doesn't look very nice, does it?
I've got a feeling. Right, let's go and see.
Well, let's go and see what horrors await us on this. I bet it's just another beach, really. I've just about had enough of beaches. De Niro, we'll have to edit this bit out. Come on. Chop, chop, chop. Oh, he's just seen what's round here. Oh, he's still going a bit slowly with his dodgy leg, but he is back on the beach. This is called the West Beach. You can probably guess why, but it goes from there. It goes all the way down there and all the way round there, and then further. It is a massive beach. This is unbelievable. You keep thinking you've seen the best beach in the Western Isles and then you find another beach. It's just amazing. I have no words, as you can probably tell. I was speechless, which is not good to make for very good television. De Niro, you're supposed to be convalescing with your gammy leg. I think the gammy leg is just to get sympathy and biscuits.
Oh, it's pretty horrible, eh?
Yeah, it's just not a nice place to be. I mean, we're just wasting people's time showing them pictures of this. It's just a beach. They'll be sitting going, it's just a beach. This episode's all beaches. We're going to unsubscribe. Enough beaches. I've gone right off this beach. It's just far too busy, because if you look over there, there's a person. There's a person on this beach. That's just totally unacceptable. I mean, we want this place to ourselves and we haven't got it because some selfish man is out for a walk. And you join us about 5 kilometres further along that beach, and bad news is it's started raining, but we're now 5 kilometres along, and yeah, it just goes on and on and on. Before I rescued them, they'd never seen a beach before, but now Bex is really getting used to the sand. Something's been down here, and I don't want to cast any aspersions, but it's got a cloven hoof. Ooh. Okay, I think it's probably a cow from the fields up there rather than the Prince of Darkness, but still. Ooh. The sun has come out. This is so nice. Taking lots of photographs of the view. If you would like them, you can have them for nothing. Go to our Ko-fi page and you can download some of the pictures from this trip. So go along, help yourselves. Definitely in our wee element. De Niro would like to go and walk beside his mummy, but he's not keen on getting his paws wet at all. Oh, there we go. Oh. Told you. Not to get my paws wet. I don't think there's any camera that'll do justice to the way the sun is sort of sparkling and twinkling on the water over there. It's just magical. What a magical, magical place. Bex has gone for a wee paddle. De Niro wants to go and be beside her, but doesn't want to go in the water. He's trying to solve this problem. How can he be beside his mummy and not get his feet wet? That's an interesting piece of shell. It's like black and white stripes and red. Never seen one like that before. How interesting. Bex is getting braver and braver. I wonder when the last reported shark attack in the Western Isles was. Just curious. Oh, look at the big brave girl. Go Bex, go Bex. Oh, and she's off. It doesn't look awfully warm, shall we say. It looks a bit chilly, but she's enjoying herself. De Niro is going nowhere near. I'm quite impressed by how brave she is being. It does. Yeah, I think she's found a cold bit. Go on, De Niro, do you want to go and join her? Go for a swim? No. Not a chance. The wee water nymph has wandered off somewhere, so I'm going to go and look for a memorial to a man that we've met before. If you remember from one of our Sky videos, we went to the Giant McCaskill Museum. Okay, it was closed, but we still went. Down here there's a Giant McCaskill Memorial, apparently, that I'm going to go and see if I can find. I'll spare you any more views of beaches though, because you're definitely getting bored with that by now. First minor obstacle. There is no gate in this corner of the field. I could see that gate and thought that was the gate. It's not the gate. Hang on, this could all go spectacularly wrong. Yay, made it. Right, The memorial apparently is down here somewhere, so let's go for a wee look. I know that Scotland is famous for the wee midges, which are not very pleasant. There are no midges here, but there are thousands and thousands and thousands of flies, which are easier to see and less bitey, but no less unpleasant. Now, the farmer man is running about on his quad bike and he's stopping and waving and smiling at all the tourists walking all over his land. He seems like a very laid-back sort of chap. It's nice to see. You don't want to get chased off by a farmer saying, "Get off my land." Oh, but these locals don't look quite so happy to see us. They've stopped what they were doing, and being sheep, what they were doing was eating. This is strange. Round that corner over there, massive sandy beach. Here, small pebbly beach. It's lots of variety, if nothing else. But one thing this beach has got in common with that beach is absolutely no rubbish at all. I mean, not a scrap, nothing. You turn the wee corner and you get another really, really pretty wee bay. It's all getting just a bit monotonous. But what I am here to see, I think, is that wee cairn there. We'll go and we'll find out. This must be it, and if it's not, I'll just say that it is, because quite frankly, it's all I can see in this area, apart from a graveyard up there that looks rather new. So let's go and have a look at this big column thing. So if you look at that wall round there, that is the remains of an old building, and it says, "Within these walls, Angus Mór MacAskill was born, known as the Nova Scotia Giant." He's actually buried in Canada. I know that from our previous little adventures. He was the son of Norman MacAskill, who emigrated in 1831. He stood 7 feet and 9 inches in height. He achieved many feats of strength and is remembered as a kindly and just man and a humble Christian. So there you are. This is where Angus MacAskill was born. As I say, we've seen his museum on Skye, but it was closed. But he wasn't from Skye, he was from here. So no idea. Maybe Skye are just trying to get in on the act because they don't have enough tourist stuff as it is. Giving him a nickname really easy. He's 7'9". What are we going to call him? We're going to call him the wee man. No, we'll call him the giant. That was quite interesting. The Angus MacAskill Birthplace Memorial. Anyway, I'm going to head down to the beach now, and I might have another wee shot with the drone. The drone's actually getting sore wings from all the flying I'm making it do, but there's just so much here to do. And as you can see, the weather is fairly good for flying a drone. Hopefully we'll get some nice pictures. It's also not very windy because we tried it on the beach yesterday. The poor wee thing was flying backwards, literally flying backwards. That is if I can find the way down. I think that looks a bit steep. I think I'll go that way. That looks a little bit safer. I know we take the mick with our botany, but look at that. That's anybody got any idea what those are? Those are so cool. I have never seen anything like that before. Look, see, if you could stop shimmering and looking so photogenic, I could stop stopping to take photographs of you, so stop it. Look miserable. Mind you, I suppose up here for lots of the year it all looks very miserable, so we should make the most of it. But here's a thing for you. People talk about Scotland having like 4 seasons in one day. Well, you saw the weather this morning on that beach. It was absolutely pouring with rain. It was just horrendous. In a straight line, we're probably only 30 or 40 miles from there right now. I mean, look at it. It's not just a different season, it's a different planet. Take off. This is such an amazing place to live. This is the view that the giant MacAskill would have had as he looked out of his bedroom window, assuming that he had a bedroom window and it wasn't just a wall. This is called the Queen's Beach, and it's called the Queen's Beach because we were told, so you can take it with a pinch of salt if you want, that the Royal Yacht Britannia, which transported the British royal family, to dock out there in the bay, and the young Princess Elizabeth would come across and play on that beach. So there you are. Future Queen Elizabeth played on that very beach as a child. So yeah, believe it or not, that's what we were told. Couldn't have brought De Niro. A, he's absolutely exhausted, and B, yeah, the enemy of the greyhound, the style. Let's creep up this hill and see if we can startle any sheep. No. Oh, that was a bit boring. I should have put the drone up above the giant MacAskill's house, see if there's a footprint of any other buildings over there. That would have been quite interesting, but I forgot, so no idea. There are some really cool wee businesses on these islands. You'd be surprised how good some of them are, and this was one of our favourites. This is called the Coral Box, and it was on the island of Bernery, and well, it had a bit of everything. It had local crafts, it had all sorts of really cool and interesting bits that have been found on the local beaches. I love places like this, not just for the bottle collection and not just for the puffins, but mostly because we saw what we came to see. Yep, we finally found an otter who was just sitting there waiting for us. If you feel conned by that otter, feel free to sue us. It's the closest we could find to a real one. And that was it. We do hope you have enjoyed this episode because we had a great time making this. It's one of our favourite ones so far. So if you have, please like, subscribe and all that gubbins, and we'll see you soon for more.